session today. Great to have everybody with us. I'm looking into that camera, by the way, in case people here are wondering. Please make sure to not miss any of the presentations today, and you'll always be able to join our Q&A as well. Now, having said that, Tilman, I mentioned it's a 3-year project. You actually probably have been in the process with it for 4 years already. How does it feel to be standing here after so many years? Is that something you envisioned?
Well, we were hoping for it, but it is a bit surreal. I mean, this is a little tech nerdy project, but as we see, thousands of companies are affected, and so we believe that it was really important to get it done. And I think today kind of is testament to that. That was a good step to take.
Now I know you've prepared something as well. If we take a throwback in time, do you still remember the first email, the first phone call, how it all came together?
Well, it kind of emerged from the previous project, the Circular Economy Initiative in Germany. And so also when you say, like, I came up with this, that's not true. We have this as a whole team with Architect and Fraunhofer Umicore and many others that were already in the previous project. So it's a, I don't know, maybe 8-year collaboration in total, and so this is really a co-creation effort, and we found from the work on batteries in that circularity project that data is so crucial, and so that we saw this as an opening to actually support data generation and usability throughout the life cycle.
Now, if I look at the screen here, we do actually have a slide of everybody who is involved, no? Yes, so because so many names, too many to mention here, but it was integral to have literally everybody from all the stakeholders from all the parts of the value chain.
Yeah, so the design of the whole project was really, really crucial for the success because we wanted to have good coverage along the value chain and sciences and innovators, but if you get too large, you don't get anything done, right? So finding that balance was really crucial design element, and also our great advisory board partners, and that really gave us a lot of a reach and also the ability actually with DKE for the DIN spec ultimately. And so we're really, really glad that everybody pulled through and is here, and we made it to the finish line.
We'll dive into all the nitty-gritty details of what you came up with throughout the course of the day, of course, but is there something you're particularly proud of?
Well, the spec is actually tremendous because it's really helping define core elements of the data points and how to use the terms, what they actually are and mean, and having a common language. I think the politicians here will understand this, or rather commission partners and obviously standardizers, is so important that we actually are able to talk about the same stuff. And also the technical demonstrator, I think, is wonderful with a text structure underneath to show it's viable. You can do this even in a first version in half a year, very quickly. The point is to get it done and compliant and fill it with life. And so showing that it can be done, I think, was really important to us.
Sounds like the work of many, many people. What was important to really get a concrete outcome? You already hinted at it, not to be too big, but big enough.
Have all the expertise at the table, right? So it's almost like a sprint team. We try to get all the expertise that you need to cover the tech, the content, the legal aspects, and so on. And so, yeah, it's more than a regular sprint team, I suppose. And also really important is the supporting partners group. So we have, I don't know, 100, not lost count, of amazing companies that reviewed every single publication that we did. So all of the work is public access, and the whole point was to have this really thoroughly validated and vetted. Well, I mean, you see a bunch of names that you probably recognize along the battery value chain, and many international battery manufacturers actually were extremely active and constructive in the whole process. So we made sure that all the interpretations make sense in real life.
Nice. Anything you want to say before we kick it off?
Well, just maybe if we look at the process, right, you say it's been 3, maybe even 4 years. I mean, along the way, we were really excited that also our funder, the German Ministry for Economic Affairs, I mean, not only obviously allowed us to do this with the €8 million funding, but also saw the value in this and really kept supporting us in also bringing us to Hannover Fair 2 times already. We're going to also actually close in April this year, end of March and April, on the booth of the Economic Ministry, again, featured as an exhibit. And so that really helped generate that momentum that we needed also to reach the many stakeholders that need to see this and can use this, and we get a lot of positive feedback. Yeah, and for today, and you're going to show the agenda. We're start with policy, look into what needs to happen to make this, since it's a policy-framed technology and process, how that can support and finish this all off so that it gets designed optimally, standardization to make this also interoperable with other projects and internationally, and then ultimately the business value, because that's what it's all about, right? There shouldn't be a reporting thing. Like, we really thoroughly believe, and we hear that from industry, that once you have it in place, it really can help make process digital, more efficient, and generate business value. And so that's a point we want to drive home today.
Thanks a lot, Tim, and I know you'll be back in a few minutes to give a presentation. Thanks a lot for joining me and kicking off the day. Now, Tilman already hinted of it. The whole project would not have been possible if it wasn't for a great champion in e-mobility in the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action in Germany, namely Michael Kellner and his whole team. He already has been part of the kickoff 3 years ago. He probably would have loved to have been here personally today, but he couldn't make it. Nevertheless, he of course sent us a video message, so very humbled and proud to have him here on stage with his video message, State Secretary Michael Kellner.
Dear Battery Consortium, dear ladies and gentlemen, in April 2022, I personally have handed over a grant letter of 8.3 million euros to a project consortium named Battery Pass. 3 years later, with tangible results ranging from a DIN spec with detailed technical requirements to a demonstrator, the project comes to an end. And although I cannot personally be in Brussels with you for the closing event, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on the work you have done and the results you have achieved over those 3 years. You exceeded expectation. You did a really great job, and I'm very thankful for that. But let me start at the beginning. Batteries will become what fossil fuels have been for many decades, the essential form of energy storage in ever more applications. Battery-powered cars are commonplace by now. Trucks are being electrified more and more, as are tools, forklifts, and even aircrafts. Grid storage requires batteries as well. Batteries host vast potential for business and for decarbonization. But they come with challenges too. Most significantly, they require large amounts of energy and resources to produce. More concretely, the CO2 reduction potential of electric cars crucially depends on the production conditions of the batteries. We need to know what goes in there in order to monitor and benchmark the CO2 footprint of batteries. It is our goal to make electric cars in the greenest possible way. There can be a severe social impact of the raw materials production for batteries. What needs to be ruled out would, for example, be child labor or unsustainable conditions in cobalt production. We need transparency on the production conditions to curb negative impacts. As the market grows so fast, we need to make sure quickly that all the batteries being put onto the market in the years to come are already fit for circularity, which means they can be used in second life applications and easily recycled. These challenges will be tackled in Europe with the EU battery regulation that puts stringent requirements on these aspects. But how do you show as producer to the authorities and to your customers that your batteries comply with these requirements, that they are indeed green? This is where the digital product passport comes into play, in this case the battery passport. The EU battery regulation requires a battery passport for batteries in EVs, stationary storage systems, and large industrial batteries. With the Battery Pass project, you have quite literally set a standard for a battery passport that complies with the EU battery regulation. You have joined forces in a consortium of industry, academia, and think tanks to demonstrate that a digital battery passport can be realized in a workable way. In a detailed study, you have shown that a digital battery pass can not only be realized, it can also create new business opportunities. But the industry does not only need studies, standards and paperwork, but also needs tools. And you have provided that too in form of both a software-based and a physical demonstrator. Moreover, you have proven that with joint forces, Europe and Germany in particular are capable of taking the lead in digitalization after all. On behalf of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action, congratulations on the successful completion of your project. And please keep inspiring people and institutions to respond to the need for greater sustainability.